This is not the ChatGPT you know. OpenAI just merged ChatGPT, the Codex coding agent, and the new agent called Work into a single app. This can browse the web, control your computer, run scheduled tasks, and stay on a project for hours until the job is done. In this video, I'll take you from installing the app to mastering every major feature. And we'll also cover something a lot of people get wrong: when to use Codex and when to use Work. There's a lot to cover, so let's dive in. To get started, all you have to do is go to this webpage, which I'll link to in the description of this video, and then download and install the ChatGPT desktop app for your operating system. And because I'm using Windows, I'll click on this button, then I'll simply open up the installer, and then I'll simply go through the setup instructions. Once you open the ChatGPT desktop app, it should look something like this. In fact, you might actually see a little sidebar. So to show and hide the sidebar, we can simply click on this button in the top left corner. When you start the ChatGPT app for the first time, you will be asked to sign in. You will then be asked just to authenticate your account, so I'll click on continue. And after that, we can start using the ChatGPT desktop app. So let's just have a look at a few of the very basic features. In this left sidebar, we have this drop down to switch between Work and Codex. Now, the difference between these two modes is Work is meant for productivity tasks. So if you have like a multi-step process that involves connecting to different systems, so maybe you want to connect your Gmail emails and your Google Calendar and maybe Slack and Notion, and then every morning you want to produce some kind of report or even interact with those systems, that is what you can use Work for. Whereas Codex is their coding agent. So you can select Codex if you want to build websites or apps or dashboards, whatever. So for software development, this is where you would go. But let's start off with ChatGPT Work. So what I'll do is click on New Task, and this will create a new task over here, so we can interact with our agent as per usual. One benefit of using the desktop app over something like ChatGPT Web is that the desktop app has access to your file system or to your computer. This means if you want this agent to have access to certain files on your machine, or even have the ability to write files to a folder, that is really easy. We can simply select a folder, and this is optional, by the way. We can chat with this agent with ever assigning a folder to it, but it's very useful if we assign a workspace. So if it produces any files like Excel documents or whatever, the agent will be able to store those files in that folder. For instance, I'll just create a new folder. Let's call this Oak and Barrel. Let's click on Save. And this agent will now be able to read the files in this folder and even write files to that folder as well. Next to the folder, we can also see all the plugins that have been enabled for this little project. If we click on plugins, we currently have access to documents, PDFs, spreadsheets, presentations, sites, a web browser, computer use, and a lot more. If we ever wanted to install or remove plugins, we could just go to Connect Plugins and click on Browse All Plugins. So from this page, we can search for plugins, or we can just kind of browse them from this page. And to add a plugin, it's really simple. We just click on that plugin, then we can click on Install Plugin. This will typically take us through a little bit of a setup process where we have to authenticate ChatGPT with that app. For example, I'll authenticate myself in Notion. This is now installing the app, and now we can see that Notion is indeed connected. And if we go back to plugins, we can see Notion over here. Now, if we ever wanted to remove a plugin, again, all we have to do is click on these three little buttons and click on Uninstall. Right, so let's just go back to this chat. And let's continue working in this folder. All right, so what we can do now is change our approval mode. By default, ChatGPT will ask our permission before making any changes or running code or running commands at all. If we want the agent to automatically make changes to the folder without asking our permission, we can simply choose Approve for Me. The agent will only ask our permission if it thinks that a command might be potentially harmful. If we want the agent to run on full autopilot without asking our permission, we can select full access. This gives us this little warning as well, so let's just approve that. For the majority of people, I would suggest selecting Approve for Me, but if you have confidence in using these agents and you've got a long-running task which you don't want to babysit, you can also just select full access. And just on the topic of babysitting these agents, the ChatGPT desktop app has a really cool feature. You can control these agents remotely. This means you can walk away from your PC and then monitor these sessions using your mobile phone. All you have to do to enable that is to go to your settings, then go to connections and go to control this PC. And from this screen, you can simply click on add, and that will take you through a process where you scan a QR code using your phone, and that will take you through the process of syncing your phone with your PC. Alright, what we can also do is change our model. So if we click on this drop down, what we can do is click on advanced, and now we can select the model that we would like to use. GPT 5.6 was just released a few days ago, and they give you 3 different variants: Sol, Terra, and Luna. So I'm not going to spend too much time going through these different models, but Sol is the flagship model, so that is their most intelligent model, followed by Terra, which is kind of like a middle of the ground model, and Luna, which is stupidly cheap and very fast. So I would probably use Luna for very cost-effective tasks, like searching for different files in my file system or in a code base. Terra could be useful for doing very basic code review or even writing documentation. For any complex tasks, I would recommend Sol. Alright, so besides for setting the model, we can also select the effort level. I'll go with high effort. And we can also set the speed. I would recommend just sticking to standard speed, as fast is going to produce faster results, but it's almost going to double your usage as well. And speaking of usage, something I forgot to mention is that you do have to upgrade your plan to use these features. So if we click on our profile and we go to usage remaining, I can see that I still have 99% of my weekly usage left. And from here we can click on the upgrade button, and this will take us to the ChatGPT website, and from here we can upgrade our plan. Right, that was a lot of setup, but we're now ready to start using ChatGPT and work. So I'll send the prompt like, please create an Excel doc containing the sales figures for the Oak and Barrel restaurant this quarter. You can make up the figures. This should include the sales per menu item. And let's send this. And because we've assigned that Excel plugin, ChatGPT is saying that it's going to use the spreadsheet skill to build and verify a polished Excel workbook. And just by the way, I mentioned that you can control this remotely. And if I pull up the ChatGPT app on my phone, I can see this very same session running on my mobile device. And from here, I can continue chatting to the agent. I'm getting live feedback, so whatever I can see on my screen on my PC, I can view on my phone as well. And done. ChatGPT just created this Excel spreadsheet, so let's actually open this up. And this already looks really cool. So I can see the different tabs over here, and if I go to this button on the top right, I can open this in any app. So I'm just going to click on default app. I'll just select Excel, and there we go. How cool is that? And it's all neatly presented with little diagrams and bar charts. It's all there. Now, I personally think that Excel spreadsheets are boring, so let's share this data with the team in a way more visual way. I'll simply use my voice to dictate this part. So to do that, I can just click on this button. Hey there. This data looks really interesting, but I would like to share it with the team in a way more visual way. Maybe you can create a web page or a series of web pages where we can show this data in a visual or interactive way, or maybe in a sort of 3D environment. You can get creative with this. I love using speech to text. I think it's a way faster way to give a prompt to an agent than typing everything by hand. Now you'll see the agent mentioning something really interesting. I'm going to use the sites skill. This is actually a brand new feature from OpenAI as well, where they give you a platform where you can deploy websites or anything that's web-based. You can deploy to their platform, and it makes it very easy to share that web page with your team members or to the world. So while this is working on our little web experience, you might be wondering about, how do you just interact with ChatGPT like, normally? So if you just want to have a conversation, brainstorm ideas, without having to, change files or any of that. Well, the chat feature is actually very different in the desktop app than what you might be used to in the web app. Instead of it being like a full page experience, all you have to do is click on chat, and then that brings up this little chat bubble over here. And this will show up over any other page that you're currently busy with. So if we're busy with work or maybe we're busy in Codex, we can bring up this chat feature and just have a normal conversation with the agent. So we can say something like, hey, and send a message. And that response was super quick, and that's because we're currently on instant mode. I'm just going to cancel this, and we can change the mode by clicking on instant, and let's change it to something like hi, and we can also select our model. Now with instant mode, the agent won't actually do any sort of reasoning. It will just spit out the first thing that comes to mind, but if you want the agent to give even better results, you definitely have to set the reasoning effort. Oh, and by the way, you might have noticed that this response is really interesting. It's saying that it's almost Ruby's birthday, and that's because my dog, Ruby, her birthday is just around the corner. And you might be wondering how ChatGPT is able to sort of remember this information about me. Well, ChatGPT will actually collect information about you as you're having conversations with it. This happens automatically and in the background. If you ever wanted to see what sort of memories ChatGPT has on you, you can go to settings, you can go to personalization, and if you scroll down to this memory section, you can actually reset the memory so ChatGPT forgets all about you, or you can just enable or disable memories from here. All right, let's just go back to this chat. And you would have noticed something really interesting just happened. ChatGPT just generated this image for our website. And this is such a cool feature, something very few people actually talk about. You can use the ChatGPT desktop app to generate AI images. And if you're on any of the paid plans, you can basically generate unlimited AI images. So ChatGPT is going to deploy this app to the web in a second. But first I want to mention that I've got a completely free course. It's called the 7-Day Builder Challenge. And in this course I teach you how to use coding agents effectively using my RAMP method. In the first 5 videos I teach you this method, which works with a lot of different agents, including free models by the way. And on day 6 and 7 I challenge you to build your very own app and share it with the community. As I mentioned, this is completely free and I'll leave a link in the description below. Right, cool. So ChatGPT is done and it created this link which we can click on. And if we open that URL in the browser, we get something like this. How cool is that? It just took our spreadsheet and created something that looks a lot more visually appealing. Imagine just sharing this with your team to give them a way better understanding of what's going on with our sales. Now, at the moment, this web page is only available to my account. So once I've reviewed it and I want to share it with my team, what I can simply do is click on share. Then I can just change it from just with me to anyone on the internet. And now anyone can access this website using this URL. Right, we can do a few very cool things with work as well. If we go to scheduled, we can set up recurring tasks. So these can run every day, every week, every hour if we want. And this way we can get ChatGPT to perform a certain feature on our behalf on a fixed schedule. And this is really easy to set up. All we have to do is click on this drop down next to create. And now we can get ChatGPT to create this task for us, or we can set it up manually. So let's click on set up manually. And now we can tell the agent what we want it to do. So we can say, please read my latest unread emails and give me a summary of my day. All right, then under runs in, we can just select a new task. Then for the project, we can select one of our existing projects. Projects is just a really clean way to organize all of these tasks. So I would recommend just creating a new task or just selecting one of these existing tasks. Then we can select our model and we can select our reasoning effort. For the frequency, I'll just run this daily at 9 a.m. And of course, we have to give a title. So I'll just call this one Good Morning and let's add a coffee cup, like so. Then we can create this task. Cool, now at 9 a.m. every day, this agent will run using this prompt and I'll be able to see the results in this Oaken Barrel project. I can also kick this off manually at any time by clicking on these 3 buttons and clicking on Run Now. And as I mentioned, that will add this current run in this little Oaken Barrel project folder over here, and we'll be able to view the results from this chat window. And the nice thing is, once we get the results back, we can continue chatting to the agent working with this data. And we could then even ask the agent to respond to emails on our behalf. Alright, then continuing with the sidebar, if we go to sites, we can view all of our current sites, like the Oaken Barrel sales dashboard that we just created. If we ever wanted to delete any of these sites, that's really easy as well. We can change the visibility. So if we want to take it from private to public, we can change that by clicking on shared with, or if we click on these three dots, we can go to settings. Then from here, we can scroll down to the bottom and click on delete site. Right, before we dive into Codex, let me show you another really cool feature. This agent has access to a browser and computer use. So if we go to something like new task, I'm just going to close this little sidebar over here. I can do something like, please use your integrated browser to go to amazon.com, then search for RTX 5090 and summarize the first 3 results. Right, let's send this. And this can be a really cool way to kind of, I don't know, scrape data or perform some kind of automation on your behalf. So in this little sidebar over here, and by the way, you can actually open up the sidebar by clicking on this button over here. And now we can see the agent is actually controlling this browser. So it's performing this search and it's going to collect this data on my behalf. And then afterwards, I can just ask it in the chat window to store the data in a working folder. Let's actually stop this and let me show you something else. The ChatGPT desktop app also has computer use, and this is probably one of the best computer use implementations out there. It beats Claude by a mile. But let me just show you how that works. Firstly, you will need to have this computer use plugin installed. Then we can ask ChatGPT to control our PC and any app on our PC. I'll just do a very silly example, like, please can you open Word on my PC? You need to use computer use for this, and then just write the text, hello world. And what's going to happen is, in a minute, our screen is going to get this weird blue outline, indicating that ChatGPT is now controlling our PC. And there we go. ChatGPT is actually controlling my PC. You can see this little blue outline, and we can actually see its cursor moving around on the screen as well. And it just typed the text, hello world. This can be so useful if you want ChatGPT to troubleshoot some kind of issue on your behalf or just automate some kind of process on your PC. And then, of course, we've got Codex. If we click on this dropdown and go to Codex, we now have access to their coding agent. This might look and feel very similar to Work, but this is very different. In coding agent mode, the agent will now use Git and version control. It will be able to create commits, push to GitHub, and it will follow typical software development workflows. Now, if you would like to learn how to use coding agents within the ChatGPT desktop app, then I've got a dedicated video which I'll link to right now. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more agentic coding tutorials. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.